Have you ever felt stuck and just really unsure how on earth to move forward again? Then this is the video for you. And if you're feeling stuck, even more so, because it's not a very good feeling. It's not moving us forward. It's not helping us, the world, anybody, if we stay stuck, right? So maybe you're caught up by a decision that you made in the past, whether that's professional or personal, and you're still sitting in there even though it doesn't feel right anymore. Can you relate? Then stay tuned, because we need not stay caught because of a decision that we made in the past. Okay, so I'm happy and glad and excited you're here. Welcome. In case we've met before, my name is Katrin from bloomwithkatrin.com. I'm coming live to you from the beautiful Bavarian forest over here in Germany. Now please don't be shy, whether you're on live with me here today or on the replay. Always let me know where you're tuning in from, so I can come back and have a little conversation down below with you. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm here to help you take your offline small business that you might have, networking, whatever that might look like exactly for you, and take it into the online world. So it's going to become sustainably successful for you. And that's very important to me, your life is also going to feel better, really good from the inside out, right? And can we just agree that when we feel stuck, like a little bit maybe in quicksand, it's not a very good feeling, right? I mean, I can teach you all the social media strategies, and I do have powerful strategies that I share with you here on this page. So make sure that you follow me so you don't miss any of my training episodes. But here's the thing, when we feel like we're stuck in quicksand, we can't really do anything, right? We can't move forward. Staying good in that place isn't really a pleasant experience neither, right? And that can be something business related. It can be in your personal life, right? And usually, and this is what I want to give you as food for thought, usually we are not as stuck as it may feel at the moment, right? And there's not really a good thing coming from it if we just sit there, even though it doesn't feel right anymore, and we just wait for something to change so things can change, right? And I have a story about this that I wanted to give to you as well, because yesterday a friend and a distant relative of mine visited me, and we had a very interesting conversation. Now, just so you get a bit of the picture, he's been struggling with his mental health for I think 5 years now, and he really is in a bad place. Okay, and I absolutely get him. And he's stuck in waiting mode, right? He needs to wait on a decision made by some sort of organization, as you know, so he can decide how to move forward. And he's been waiting for that decision for months, years now even, right? That's not a good place to stay. And I shared with him the CAT technique that I'm about to give to you as well, and that's really helped him take it on a different look on whether there actually is something that he might do whilst waiting for that organization to make the decision when it came to his destiny, right? So we can always decide things, and sometimes a decision is something quite final, right? Maybe I don't know, maybe you decided when you were like, when I was 16 years old, I had to decide what I wanted to do professionally with my life, right? I'm actually before that, or I think it was 14. So depending on that decision, I chose the school I attended, right? Can you relate? So that's like a decision that, yes, it is going to give direction to our life, but it doesn't really mean that it's final. Can we agree on that, right? So we don't have to stick with most of our decisions, which are in fact choices that we can make somewhere along the lines, right? And to me, and let me know, I'm really interested here and really curious whether you feel that difference as well. A decision is something final, like, and it comes from the verb decide, right? Like in homicide or suicide as well. That's quite final, right? So something we can't change now anymore, because maybe, I don't know, maybe you feel if you've chosen a profession and you're thinking about choosing something different, and maybe you're in a company and you're thinking about changing companies, right? And there's always going to be things that are going to hold us back because of the decision we made in the past, right? What are others going to say? What does that say about me as a human being? Is this going to work out? What if I fail? Maybe I'd better stay where I am, right? And somehow sit it out, right? Can you relate? So that's a decision. And a choice, on the other hand, is something more fluid. At least, it feels more fluid to me. Let me know whether you can relate to this, right? To me, when I understand that at the end of the day, there's very, very few true life decisions that, yes, we can make, and it's good to stay committed for the rest of our lives. But oftentimes, it actually is a freeing relief to understand this is a choice I made, and that may have been the right choice at the time. And I can now choose how I look at where I'm at, right? That is a choice as well. So what is it that I tell myself about what's happening in my life in general, right? And what is something that I might do about this, which leads us into the cat technique. Okay, are you ready? Now, I don't know about you, but I love cats. I've always lived with cats all my life. And if you're a dog lover, I love dogs as well. But it's just a family choice in our family to have cats, okay? So, and this is obviously just the first letters of 3 words that are the 3 steps that we want to take a look at and implement as well when we're stuck. Okay, so here we go. First letter is a C, as in cat, right? The C stands for choosing, okay, which leads into what I just talked about when it comes to decide or to choose something. Now, obviously, for us to be able to make a choice, to choose from several options, we want to have several options, right? And sometimes when we're stuck, we feel, I don't know whether you're anything like me, but when I feel stuck, I feel like this is the one thing I have, and this is my only one option, and there's nothing else I can do. Does that make sense? Usually, that's not really the case, though, right? And it's a matter of educating ourselves. It's a matter of talking to people. If you want to chat with me, always feel free to go ahead. I'm looking forward to chatting with you, right? About maybe your options when it comes to your company or to what you do professionally, or a plan B. And I'm coming back to Virginia Sart here. And she said, to any problem that holds us captive, that's catching us, right? Like in quicksand, there's always at least 3 options that can get us out of there. And all it takes for us is to shift positions a little, maybe educate ourselves, do our research, talk to other people, right? To see or to look at what we think is the only option as one of many options. So continue to do your research, continue to have conversations until you find at least 3 options to choose from. Right? And yes, it can take us, it can challenge us a little to get creative, start thinking outside the box, but that is so, so, so valuable, right? When we discover that actually just a little change of my own position and on how I look at what's keeping me stuck is actually showing me a new option, something else I might do. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Let me know if it does. And if you have an aha, please always put it in there, not just for yourself to remember it more easily, but also for other people to make it even more valuable to see it and hear it from my voice. Okay, so first thing is a C, is a choice we can make. Okay, make sure you have options and then choose. And now, what might the A in CAT stand for? Obviously, it's for taking action, right? Let me know if this has ever happened to you. So you had a few options, you made your choice, and then you sat there, and I'm going to hold both my hands up here. And I sat there and I was like, oh, is this really the right thing for me? Is this really going to work out? What if this, that, or the other thing happens? What is it going to feel like? What is it going to look like? Is it really going to work? Blah, blah, blah. And I think I sat with a few of the choices I made this year for a few weeks even, right? So let me know whether you've ever sat for so long actually starting overthinking and talking yourself out of a choice you just made, okay? Because I know this has happened to me. So, right, it's time once we make a choice, it's time for us to do it, to take the steps it takes. It's gonna take putting in some time, energy, effort into that choice to actually give the choice the chance to actually help us have a better life, right? To actually help us transform our personal life, our professional life, whether it's relationships with friends and family, whether it's what we exactly do for a living, right? So let's act as in at, okay? All right, and last but not least is the T in CAT, which stands for testing. And since it's Sunday, I'm going to give you another one, which is evaluating, right? Because it's important for us when we've made a choice and when we've taken the action, and maybe things didn't work out 100% from the get-go, right? It's easy for us to get into judgment about ourselves. I know I do that all the time. Let me know whether you can relate as well here, right? So instead of judging ourselves and talking ourselves down and telling ourselves that we're not good at this, not good enough at this, whatever, not as successful, pretty, wise, whatever it might be, as we feel we should be, right? Instead of doing that to us, let's shift again and make the conscious choice to start to take a look at and evaluate how effective have my actions been so far. Okay, and here's 3 questions for you to write down in case you haven't heard them before. They're very, very powerful, and they help me because whenever I get judgmental and emotional, right, I start, or there's a disconnect, if you wish, right, in the balance between my mind that is able to think clearly and my emotions. Okay, and so when I start to get emotional and judgmental, my ability to really evaluate what's going on like goes down. So these 3 questions that I'm about to give you actually help me level that, right? My ability to think clearly and you know, find solutions to problems, and my emotional level as well. So question number 1 is, what about what I did worked? Okay, try to find 3 things that worked. Maybe it was having the conversation. Maybe it was finding the courage to actually call a person you've been wanting to call and you have put it off for whatever reason. So you've managed to call them, you've managed to set up a conversation, and you actually had the conversation. Awesome. That's 3 things that worked about the conversation, irrespective of how it went. Okay, just to give you a few ideas here. The next question is, and so 3 questions, 3 aspects, sorry, that worked. Now, the next question, what didn't work about what I did? Okay, and I want you to focus on 2, only 2, because it's easy to have 200, right? No, we don't want that. We want 2 things that didn't work out. Maybe you didn't get your point across clearly. Maybe you got emotional when you didn't want to get emotional. Okay, just 2 things. Stop it there. Once you've got your 2 things, and maybe that's easy, okay, stop it and go into question number 3, which is find one aspect, and one aspect only, that you might do differently next time. Okay, so these are the 3 questions that help me level my ability to think clearly and analytical and find solutions to problems, and my emotions. Okay, so to level those, to be actually able to have all my power so I can make better choices in my life. Okay, so, and now once you've chosen from several options that you found, you've taken action, you've tested, and now you've evaluated, and now what you can do is you can start tweaking, right? Because not at the first glance, not at first time necessarily, you're gonna have the ideal conversation maybe with a prospect or with your kids, right? But you can tweak with this method as you go along. So it's not going to feel like that huge burden, because here's what a friend shared with me. She'd been working for years towards the moment where she could decide to quit her job. Okay, and she was over the moon and she was so happy. And a few weeks in, she felt that was a huge burden on her. It was a burden financially. It was a burden on her time-wise. Suddenly, she found herself in a stuck, really. She found herself stuck, even though her dream had just come true, right? And so she told me that she had a conversation about that with her husband. And here's what he did. He said, my love, you've been working towards this moment for years. You've thought about this over and over and over. You made that choice. Now, why on earth aren't you happy? And she made the choice to not go into the emotional aspect. But what really resonated with her was that reminder that he gave her of, exactly, this was a choice that I made. Not now I have to make it work, but it's a choice I've made. There's freedom there. Okay. And now I have the choice to take a look at my options of what I might do differently than maybe in the last few weeks, to actually own that, right? To own my choice and to make the best of it. Okay. So I found that a really interesting aspect, because I'm still working towards quitting my job, right? And I always think like that's like the best thing that might happen. So it's interesting to me. And let me know whether you have already stopped working at your job, from your own accord, hopefully, right? Is that something that you can relate with? What that friend shared with me? I'm interested. So what I want you to remember from this video, if you don't take anything from it, please take this with you. The CAT method, okay? You always have a choice. Find a few options to choose from, take action on them, test them, evaluate them, and tweak them as you go, okay? So you no longer have to stay stuck, but there's always things that you can do. And you can always pivot about how to do things, right? Whether it comes to parenting, whether it comes to having conversations with prospects, whether it's building your team, whatever that might look like for you and your life and your situation currently, you always have a choice and you can always pivot. Okay, so if you found value in this video, which I hope you did, and I hope I got my points across well, please let me know what your biggest aha was, your biggest takeaway. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. Be happy, healthy, and blessed. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Tuesday. All the best from Katrin from the Bavarian Forest. Bye for now.